Greetings and salutations. I am Neverborn, The-Abyss-That-Slumbers, and you are listening to The Eldritch God.
It has been said by some that we are in the year of the punched Nazi, where violence as the tool for crushing other people's viewpoints is justified without even hearing what the other person has to say. There was a brave trans person back in 2013 that I remember reading. She used to write articles about this sort of thing. I wish she was around. We could use someone like her. Her name was Quin Moongazer. She was a strong advocate for free speech. Allow me to read from one of her articles. If transgender people have a superpower, it is our remarkable ability to stand for anything, living, breathing, floating signifiers. Our meeting du jour is, for some on Fleet Street, a professionally offended left-wing lobby group. That is now the latest post-Levison threat to free speech and a free press. Meanwhile, on the opposite side of things, fleeting as these meanings are, such as we can't even speak of stable oppositions, Suzanne Moore and Julie Burchill had accused trans people of dividing and distracting the left from its important goals and its true cause. I'll sum it up for you. Basically, this group had set its sights on crushing the free speech of trans people. People fought back. The article was removed, but others fought to get that article back so the world could see how stupid and wrong the article was. It was horrible. I won't even reproduce it here because it's beside my point. Toby Young and all the other Vegas fly-by-night defenders of free speech flitch lovely rhetoric that whistle-stops past all manners of liberal democratic tropes, while failing to specify the connection between, say, hate speech and liberty. They use language meant to bypass both the intellect and one's reason, while subtly refusing any attempt at being substantive. To do so would be to pull back the curtain at Oz and reveal the great democratic wizard to be nothing more than a petty would-be tyrant in disguise. In his entire blog post, Young does not mention the content of Burchill's article once, instead gesturing to the void indirectly by casting trans people as some monolithic left lobby opposed to free speech. And I agree. You see, I actually, once upon a time, fought against real neo-Nazis. Note I'm many years out of date. I doubt my information is current, but I also doubt much has changed. Most neo-Nazis were posers who gained no respect from real neo-Nazis. And I use the term neo-Nazi because there are no Nazis in America that I know about. The real neo-Nazis were all a part of a greater criminal organization that dealt with all forms of organized crime. Membership was based on blood and gaining respect for your loyalty and ability to inflict pain. The Nazism was really just a thin veil to place over the members. It was more of a cult. Members had to brand themselves and tell everyone with pride exactly what they were. No neo-Nazi would ever claim that they were not a Nazi.
No, I'm not a neo-Nazi.
You like black people?
Well, why? Yeah, sure.
No Nazi would ever do that. Ever. He'd be dead by nightfall. Neo-Nazis are usually drug dealers and ruthless and cutthroat. They have no respect for anyone who is an Aryan, which is defined by each individual chapter. What is Aryan can be varied and depends on who's in charge. They'd be a terrorist organization and a drug cartel and a gang of thugs all wrapped up in one, dealing with smuggling, extortion, loan sharking, and drugs. Especially the drugs. I knew 2 members of one. I guess you'd call it a cell of neo-Nazis. I managed to help the women get out. The man I tried to help escaped briefly, then the need for drugs pulled him back in. I have no idea how it ended for him. I lost contact with him one day and nobody ever saw him again. I was told he relocated to another chapter. No amount of money was going to get me the information I needed, and I was eventually warned that people I cared about might start having accidents. I'm afraid, listener, this is no movie. The good guys don't always win. In fact, they rarely win. I would also say not a single one of them was really a Nazi. Only one of them was really smart enough to know how to even read a book, and to be honest, he didn't give a fuck about Nazism. He cared that it gave him the thinnest veil of legitimacy to rule over the gang, and it was a gang, or perhaps the term cult might be a better term. Neo-Nazis are better than you, and they let you know about it. Neo-Nazis, real ones, not the hanging on posers, would flat out murder someone like Milo in a heartbeat. Neo-Nazis do not try to make anything look cool. They already are cool. They use their hatred of minorities, homosexuals, and women as a tool of terror, as a tool of control. But it's very personal. They know they are small and weak. They don't want to draw attention to themselves. They don't want people talking about them. They want to slink out under the cover of night, take what they can by force, then disappear by daybreak. No, I'm afraid neo-Nazis do not give speeches at the Martin Luther King Memorial Building at the University at Berkeley. But I can assure you, they will take advantage of all this Nazi hysteria. Instead of asking substantive questions about Burchell's writing, Young thoughtlessly defends it without any regard for its content, nor any attempt to engage with it meaningfully. This is profoundly anti-democratic. We do not, in a truly free society, throw our hands up in childlike awe and say, "Ooh, there are many ideas out there, that's nice." Ideally, we engage with them. We debate and we argue. We consider them on their merits, weigh them, and are fully allowed to find them woefully wanting. Frankly, I cannot agree with Quin anymore. She is right. We must study the ideas of our enemies in order to know why they are wrong. If we crush their opinions, then those opinions just go underground, to be used as weapons of fear and terror on individuals. Because nobody talks about it, people who are victims of these neo-Nazis may come to think they are alone, and they will have no idea where to turn to for help. The only true disinfectant for bad ideas is daylight. Many of us who wanted to preserve the public record of Burchell's hate have reposted the piece elsewhere, both to ensure that it is not flushed down the memory hole and to ensure that people could read and judge for themselves while denying the observer's profit from hate. If Mr. Young had bothered to talk to any of those faceless and nameless activists he decries, he might have seen that our motivation was not to punish political incorrectness, but to add to the discourse with the urgency that hate speech always demands. That is democracy. Again, Quin is spot on. Even if Milo, a gay Jew with a black boyfriend, was a neo-Nazi in Bizarro World, to silence him is to give his word strength. We must know what Milo thinks so that we can debunk it with all due haste and speed. That is democracy. Alas, strong liberals like Quin are gone. Instead, we have people like this. Catherine Cross, who recently published this article. Why punching Nazis is not only ethical, but imperative. This is a horrific step backwards in the fight for free speech. Such generalizing language is intellectually lazy at the best of times. Here it is outright deadly. Yes, it could be said that I disagree with Spencer, that a genocide of black Americans is desirable, but I believe he should be punched because of the very real risk that he could galvanize such an event into actually happening. This is a fear supported by the tremendous weight of our history, and by the fact that we have had to fight a bloodiest war of our species' existence the last time Nazism came into conflict with modern democracy. To call this a disagreement is an unspeakable slight against the millions of dead. This deceptive person then links us to a Twitter account that has nothing to do with Spencer, instead using somebody else's words to make us think that those words are his words. For people upset that white supremacist Richard Spencer got punched, understand he talks about killing off the black race. And when you read the comment section, it gets far more interesting. Does this mean it's okay to punch Cynthia G., who stated white people should all kill themselves? That's not genocide. That's a mass suicide. Huge difference. She directly said that it would be best for everyone if all white people died, because they're inherently evil. Well, white people don't have a good track record, so... Did she lie? Look at history and recent events. Most white PPL do not possess the ability to live in peace. The height of irony when you try to prove a white supremacist is wrong by drawing a direct link to a bunch of black supremacists. I mean, if there was any more irony, it would just condense out of the air and pool on the ground in sufficient quantities that you could splash around in it. But Catherine's deception aside, the last time Nazism was a problem, it was a problem because nobody talked about it. Everyone involved just shut their mouth and let things unfold in Germany without speaking out against it. If the other countries had not felt guilty about how brutal they had been against Germany after World War I, then maybe they would have taken the Germans to task for what they were doing. It was guilt that made the world afraid to speak out. Maybe people had not given Germany a pass just because they were an oppressed people, and we had held them to the same standards as everyone else. Violence may never have been needed. It's an interesting parallel to the modern world, I might add, but one that I will not address in this video. Fascism is a cancer that turns democracy against itself unto death. There is no reasoning with it. It was specifically engineered to attack the weaknesses of democracy and use them to bring down the entire system, aggregating it as a right to free speech for itself just long enough to take power and wrench it away from everyone else, simply allowing Nazis on a stage as the BBC did when they let British National Party leader Nick Griffin sit in debate with political luminaries on its Question Time program, is to give them an invaluable moral victory, like creationists who debate evolutionary biologists. The former benefit mightily from the prestige of the later. While I agree that fascism is bad for democracy, I find it disturbing that people would want to use the tactics of fascism to protect democracy. That is how fascisms come to power. By claiming the situation is so bad that our values cannot survive in the face of such evil, only by extreme measures can we protect our values from these threats. In other words, we must cast our morality aside so that we can save our morality. Emotionally, it sounds good. The ends always justify the means, after all. Might makes right, as they say. Or maybe nothing ever truly ends, because life is just one long journey. Those who claim the end justifies the means know that with the proper motivation, the piper will never get a chance to stop playing. If you never stop eating at the all-you-can-eat buffet, the bill will never come due. Might doesn't make right. Might just means you have more options. Something I learned over the years is that power does not corrupt. Power reveals. Those without power conform to the world around them, doing what they need to survive. When someone gains power, those restraints are lifted, and we get the chance to see how beautiful or ugly they really are deep down inside. I've met wonderful people who turned feral when granted power, and I know bitter people who, when unfettered, used their positions to help others because they had the empathy to see themselves in others. I myself have been both at one point or another in my life. I've tried to become less ugly inside because I know what people who are ugly inside deep down become. I know what unresolved pain does to you when you know you will never get justice, the way the wound festers and grows cancerous, devouring all the joy in your heart until there's nothing left but a beast filled with rage. Eventually, any pretense of just cause or desire to help others falls away. All that matters is that you find someone to punish, someone to make suffer, so you can, for one moment, think you are bringing justice to a world that never gave you any. What the reality is, all you have become is a sadist. The ideal man, the Trollermensch, if you like, is one who does not feel, who sociopathically wounds without empathy, who finds humor in even the most grotesque of suffering. In exchange, you feel no pain, no vulnerability. You cannot be hurt the way you are ruthlessly hurting others. This is the alluring promise that 4chan's culture has made to a generation of disaffected young men who feel powerless, adrift and vulnerable to a rapidly changing world where being a white man is no longer a guarantee of success and privilege. Be mighty, hurt others, never get hurt again. But humanity, in all its little frailties, always catches up with us in the end. I have to stop you there. The Trollermensch is a troll who has been hurt. He is a person who has been wounded and knows what it means to hurt as well. The Trollermensch is not immune to pain, but feels it all too well. He has empathy for others he sees being bullied. They know what a bully is because they know what it means to be both the victim and the victimizer. The ideal Trollermensch has been wounded, and he has healed. Then they go out to find others who seek to be bullies. And the Trollermensch turns the very weapons of bullies against them. The Trollermensch is immune to being bullied because he himself knows that words carry ideas, and what you do with those ideas are your problem. He hurts using truth, not lies. He exposes hypocrisy. He finds the words of bullies, digs them up, and uses them against those who seek to make themselves feel better by causing pain in others. The goal is never to hurt someone. You confuse the tools for the goal. The goal is to show the bully that they are a coward, to hold up a mirror. Most bullies are bad at self-reflection. The goal of any Trollermensch is to awaken the bully into actually having sympathy for their targets. The ultimate goal would be to have the bully finally realize that they are a bully. Here, they say, understand what it feels like what you are doing to others. Learn empathy the most honest way possible by suffering the same way as your victims. There are lesser trolls, of course, but the uber troll is someone who has been bullied and knows what darkness lies in the hearts of bullies. Instead of using deception and shame, his weapons are truth and exposure. Yes, all weapons cause pain, but deception and shame degrades the target. Truth and exposure gives the target a chance to learn, to grow, to become better than what they are. Or perhaps to become the person they once were. Yes, when the Trollermensch hurts someone, the victim may think it is out of childhood trauma or dismiss it as the failings of a man-child. But actually it is usually, oddly enough, out of a form of love. Because the Trollermensch has been healed, and he is stronger for it. He wants to help other bullies heal. Unfortunately, that process can hurt. Again, ironically, Catherine is right about one thing. Humanity will catch up with you in the end. After he was punched, Richard Spencer told the Times, "I am more worried about going to dinner on an average Tuesday because these kinds of people are roaming about," adding on a Periscope video that, "I'm afraid this is going to become a meme to end all memes, that I'm going to hate watching this." Spencer, who was proudly touting and retweeting 4chan Pepe memes and cheering right along with Yiannopoulos about the world needing more trolling, was expressing fear and vulnerability. The facade had cracked. He was no Trollermensch, just human, equal to everyone he thought himself superior to, equal to everyone he'd see dead. And yet more irony, because even after the author admits that Spencer is just human, she fails to see him as such. She does not wish to save him, only kill him. Oh, yes, I might need to explain that. You see, my mother was dying, alone. An old family friend, Mike, lived across the street from us. He was a widow. They came close, and they made each other happy. Her health improved, and they started spending a great deal of time together. One day, Mike took a blow to the head. It was an accident. I do not blame those involved. There was no true ill intent. It doesn't change the fact that Mike sat down on a couch. He closed his eyes, and he never woke up again. This is the reason why violence is never the answer, because you can kill anyone with a single blow. One shot at the right angle will kill anyone. People like the author, who claim it is okay to punch a Nazi, forget that people are frail, even as she writes about it in her article. If you claim it is okay to punch a Nazi, you are saying it is okay to kill a Nazi. If it is okay to kill someone who I disagree with just because I see them as the ultimate evil, well, then what is the difference between the man who punched Spencer and the man who shot up a mosque in Quebec City, killing 6 people? Both attackers saw their prey as the ultimate evil. Both dehumanized their enemies. There is only one difference, or correction, there are 2. First difference is how effective they were, and the second one is, which one do you agree with? I cannot find any evidence anywhere that proves Spencer has ever wanted anyone dead. If you can find it, give it to me. I want to see it. However, even if you did, it would not change anything, because Spencer is allowed to hate people. He is allowed to even wish people dead. As long as he doesn't try to kill people or encourage someone else to do it. You are allowed to tell everyone who reads your paper that you think Spencer should be punched, and if he dies from that punch, oh well. He knew the risks of speaking out and saying his mind, right? Like trans people in the past were treated, if you speak out, you are to be put down. If someone is unpopular and everyone else hates them, then it's perfectly fine to destroy them and nobody will care. You are giving a green light to every sadist who does not want to do what's right, but simply enjoys the suffering of others to hunt down those you have claimed are worthy of hate. Well, I will care. I care about everyone who is beaten and killed for what they believe. I may not agree with you, but I will fight to the death your right to say it, because I am actually fighting for my right to say what I think as well. Nazis have long depended on something like trolling culture to work their dark magic. The concept of the big lie is right at home in an age of ideologically driven 4chan hoaxes targeting women and minorities, and Nazism has always relied on a certain chicanery to keep people guessing about their true intentions until it's too late. An eerie lesson. Nazism fakery and its ability to distort reality until ordinary people could not trust their own senses bears more of a passing resemblance to 4chan's culture of harassment and thuggish hoaxes. But the weak point was always the mythology of superiority and strength. I can only agree with one assessment. Nazism is a lie. People who hate others are usually odious people, regardless of why they hate. However, you are wrong about the weak point. All magic has the same weakness. The way to destroy magic is not to punch the magician, for that only makes the audience wonder what the trick was, and curiosity is the most powerful force. No, the cure for magic has never changed. Show everyone how the trick works. People lose interest in magic when they can figure it out. Once the magic is gone and the truth is revealed, no matter how painful that truth is, we are all better for knowing it. As I noted earlier, Nazism is democracy's antimatter. Coming into contact with it is often destructive for our institutions because it is the personification of bad faith with malice aforethought. The only non-violent solution is to marginalize Nazism from public life in our society. One may be free to hold his views, but not to try to spread them at the highest echelons of our public fora. When, however, someone like Spencer does come along and is vetted, in the mainstream there's no other options available to us. Oh, I can agree. Nazism is just another form of socialism wrapped up in jingoism, and all socialism leads to fascism. However, there are other solutions than killing Nazis, which is what you are calling for. Nazis are hated by the mainstream media. I challenge you to find one major outlet that dared to claim that Nazism was good. So, if society has already ostracized them, then we have other options than murder, which is what will happen sooner or later if you call for violence against anyone. The vulnerability of Nazis cannot be revealed through debate. Many thinkers who lived through the Second World War, from Karl Popper to Hannah Arendt to Jean-Paul Sartre, have been quite clear about why dispassionate discourse with men like Richard Spencer is not only pointless but actively dangerous. Wrong. In fact, you obviously have never studied satire, because he is the very definition of the Trollermensch. In this video alone, I have told people how modern neo-Nazis use cult-like indoctrination methods and drugs to keep members in line. I have talked about how they make members cut off all ties with friends, family, and society to make them dependent on the cult. If anyone was thinking of becoming a Nazi, has just listened to that. I like to think they might now think twice about becoming a Nazi. See, the problem here is you are calling people Nazis. You aren't going after people who claim to be Nazis. Not even Spencer himself called himself a Nazi. And if you, using nothing but the power of debate, intimidate Nazis into being too afraid to even claim to be one, then you have already won. We have nothing to fear from these magical powers of Nazism. As long as they speak, we can drag those views out into the light and show the world how horrifying these concepts are. That is what the problem was. They hid so well. Do not help them hide. Drag them out into the light. Make them speak, sharing with us their nonsense and hate. The Trollermensch will then do their job, mocking them and putting the Nazi down until either they slink away to hide hoping to find darkness once more in which to grow, or perhaps they will finally see the truth and turn from their dark path. Only by showing people the light can we turn them from darkness. Show me anyone who claims to be a Nazi, and then show me who follows them. Count these followers, and tell me how many there are. I will tell you from my hard-won experience, the number of real neo-Nazis are nothing. Maybe a few thousand, if that. Of course, that doesn't make them any less dangerous. But it does mean there aren't Nazis around every corner. The real Nazis, you'll never see them until your weakest moment, and then they will prey upon you. They don't come out into the light. They stay in the dark, hiding. Don't claim Nazis have this magic that they can use with their voice to make honest people become Nazis. It doesn't work like that, and it only gives them strength. Their magic doesn't exist. It is all an illusion. Break the illusion. Show the truth. Nothing disaffects like sunlight. If you try to hide Nazism from the world because the very concept is too odious, is infectious, and will take over people's minds. Oh, he was such a good person, right up until the point where he smoked his first reefer. See the movie Reefer Madness for that reference. No. If you try to hide Nazism from the world, you're just going to plant it somewhere dark where it can fester and grow. Otherwise, you're going to have to hunt down every single book that contains Nazism and burn them. You're going to have to find every person who understands the concept of Nazism and kill them. And that is a form of fascism, whether you like it or not. The use of force, by contrast, does reveal the shared humanity that Nazis deny. Our vulnerability is one of the things that link us all, 7 billion strong, in human fragility. There are essential aspects to our humanity that both Nazi mythology and channel troll culture deny. Punching a Nazi, by contrast, reveals it. It reveals there are no masters, but quite eminently capable of fear, of pain, of vulnerability. And that takes the shine off. It eliminates their mystique, and puts the lie to the idea that ideology is an armor against the pains of modernity. And here is the final insanity. The author admits that we are all frail humans, and then advocates that we should take a punch at Nazis. We should take a risk of killing someone because they disagree with us. That is what a punch is. It is an attempt to kill someone that you hope only hurts them. Somebody wants to hurt you? Hurt them first. It's okay. They're evil, right down to their black little hearts that don't pump blood like you or I, but a thin, oily, viscous fluid which you will see as soon as you punch them. Trust me, once you break the skin, you'll see there's no red blood there, only black evil will pour out. We have society for a reason. When you break those rules, you forego the protection of society. Nazis thrive in places where society breaks down. That is the darkness in which it festers. That is why neo-Nazis are criminals. It is that darkness that gives them their strength. If you advocate that the rules of society should be thrown out, even in this one case, I'm sorry, but the Nazis have already won. If one person punches a Nazi, and that Nazi dies, after reading your article, I'm afraid, Catherine, you are responsible for that human life. Every person who says it's okay to punch a Nazi is saying it's okay to label somebody you disagree with as the ultimate form of evil, unworthy of love, that all humans earn the right to just by existing. Therefore, if you wish, punch them and risk ending their life, because if they die, it's okay. They weren't human in the first place. Why cannot this author see how wrong this is? Why this is never the right way. Violence is only used by those who have lost the argument. The moment we abandon the argument is the moment we abandon society, and we have nothing. And let me assure you, the neo-Nazis are much better at surviving without society than you are. Quin knew that. Quin knew that it was better to take evil and drag it into the light, to show the world what evil thought, so those thoughts could be torn apart. Quin knew what it was like to be bullied. She knew how to use the tools of a bully to show those bullies what they really were. Quin knew the way to win was to expose the illusion, to reveal the truth to as many people who would listen. Quin was a trollermensch. I don't know what happened to Quin. She's disappeared. And in her place, lesser people have taken over. People like Catherine. People who are all too happy to give other people the justification they need to go out and become bullies, to go out and murder, to go out and take a human life. I saw the effect it had on my mother when Mike died. Mike was a good man. He died because of an accident. And those involved, they never forgave themselves. I also believe my mom gave up hope at that point. She never really recovered. It was pretty much straight down the hill from there. You, Catherine, are telling people to go out and risk another human's life. You have no idea what effect that has on a person. You speak of trolls as sociopaths, and yet you tell people to ruin their lives and saddle their minds with guilt that they will never get over. That is a level sociopathy that truly boggles my mind. How many people do you want to hurt just to slake your bloodlust? Who hurt you so bad that this would seem acceptable? That you could be so flippant and callous about another human's life is... I don't even have words. It's at this point that I want to make a claim to a professional Nazi puncher and ask him what he thinks about all this. Doesn't matter what the press says. Doesn't matter what the politicians or the mob say. Doesn't matter if the whole country decides that something wrong is right. This nation was founded on one principle above all else, the requirement that we stand up for what we believe, no matter the odds or the consequences. When the mob and the press and the whole world tells you to move, your job is to plant yourself like a tree beside the river of truth and to tell the whole world, no, you move. So answer me this, Catherine. How long ago did society view trans people just as evil as Nazis? I am Unfoth Neverborn, the Abyss-That-Slumbers, and you have been listening to The Eldritch God.